Hey everyone, Dennis K here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Hey, listen, this is a question from readers, and they would like to know how can they come to Belize each and every winter as snowbirds? Right now, they live in Canada, and they want to get out of Canada, not surprisingly, in the cold winter months of January, February, and March. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a little video here. I think you're really going to enjoy this because we're just going to have fun with it. We're just going to look at a couple of different websites and give you guys some options and what to think about as you are maybe making your plans for the future, getting out of the cold winter months, if that's your desire. But in this particular video, we're going to focus on people that may or may not have a permanent interest in Belize, meaning they're just kicking around the idea of using Belize kind of like what many people do with Florida right now. They just use it as a place to come down 2 or 3 months a year, and they might bounce around Florida a little bit, maybe West Palm one year, maybe Naples another year, Miami another year. And when they come down, they just want to rent something, show up, unpack the suitcases, and when they leave, they want to leave. So they're not really interested in owning real estate in Florida, but they just want to use it to get out of the cold and enjoy somewhere nice and warm. So that's the angle that we're going to base today's video on. A couple, let's say they're a retirement age couple, and they're looking at just being snowbirds in Belize, not quite sure what they want to do yet, maybe just kind of test drive it, maybe some different areas, and they don't really want to go all in with a major purchase. So what advice would I have for them? Well, first of all, let's go to the good old Airbnb website and take a look at some different areas of Belize and see what it would take to rent something long term during those peak summer months. All right, so let's go to the websites. So I'm going to share my screen. I pulled up Airbnb here, and just for kicks, I put in some dates, a 4 week period from January 6th through February 3rd, 2025. And you see here, you get some average nightly rates, anywhere between, say, 140 and 250, depending on the size of the home or condo and its exact location. Is it off the water? Is it on the water? But as we kind of zoom in here, and we just look at the different options in and around San Pedro town. You have one here at Tortuga for just under $3,000 a month, and that's with a pretty hefty discount, going from 4,000 down to just under 3,000. You also have this one here, Lighthouse Guest Apartment, 2 bedroom for just under $3,000. You have one here for about $4,000. Beautiful, has great reviews. Look at that, a 4.95 with 62 reviews. All right, so let's take a look at this one. All right, so what do you get for this apartment for, $3,976 a month? And that might be negotiable if you're going to be renting even longer than a month. But let's take a look at some pictures here. See, it's been beautifully redone. Everything you need for a long-term stay. And look at that. Got some beautiful views. So it looks like it's right downtown San Pedro. Very convenient. So with something like this, you wouldn't even need a golf cart. All right. Beautiful location. All right. What else do we have here? Let's see. Well, how about this? You guys can do all this kind of searching on your own, but let's just pick a nominal figure because I'm going to show you guys how exactly you can do this year after year, come to Belize and be a snowbird without going all in on a major real estate purchase. Let's just say you found something for $3,000 a month and then you negotiated that for 12 weeks, for 3 months, right? So $3,000 a month in San Pedro. Now let's go over to Key see what you can get in Key. There, the prices are a little cheaper. So for example, if we go down here, you can get this tiny home here. And this is going for, this is a beautiful little place, 2,316 per month. All right. Let's take a look at this. Beautiful. All right. I'd take that any day. Just what you need. All right. Little kitchen there, pots and pans, nice bedroom, shower, bathroom. All right, it's not bad. 2,300 a month. All right. And what else do we have here in that price range? How about this one? Seaview apartment, 2,156. Good thing about Key Calker is you wouldn't need a golf cart because it's a small island, so you can very easily get around on foot. All right, simple but beautiful. Great place for snowbirds. All right, let's take a look at San Ignacio. Let's go all the way to the mainland now. So if you want a jungle experience, what do they have here in the jungle? Well, check out this one. It's only 1,759 per month. This one is really cool. Again, little kitchen, just what you need. Screen windows set right in the middle of all that beauty. What else do we got in San Ignacio? San Ignacio, there's a bungalow for 1,372. Uh, dun, dun, dun. All right. So again, you guys can sort of bounce around on your own. Here's a nice home, beautiful home, 2,519. Let's take a look at that one. A little more upscale, a lot more space for sure. Nice for a larger family. All right, so just pause here for a minute. So pros and cons of each area. All right, Kikaker, you don't need a golf cart, so you save money there. The island might be a little bit too quiet for you. I don't know. I don't know your personal style. Ambergris Key is where most of my clients do want to be, so I highly recommend it. But there you need a golf cart, and you see that your prices on average are higher than they are in Kikaker and San Ignacio. If you're in San Ignacio town, you're probably still going to need a car to get around, even though in town you have everything accessible. You don't necessarily need a car if you're going to stay for a month or so, but if you want to bounce around the country and, check out some different parts of the mainland, you're going to want to rent a car at least for part of that time. So kind of figure that in the budget. All right. And what do I like about Airbnbs? Well, first of all, the price that you're quoted there, that's your all-in price. So there's no additional fees other than what you saw. You got some cleaning fees and things like that. But there's usually it includes everything. So your electric, your water, your internet, your cable, all of that is included in the price. So that price is the maximum that you're going to pay per month or for the 3 months. Now, how could you fund being a snowbird in Belize? Maybe when you're going to Ambergris Key, when you're Key Calker, when you're Hopkins, when you're San Ignacio, really get to see the country in detail. Well, here's what I suggest, and I'm going to show you a slide that I put together. There we go. So we just maximize this. All right, so at the top here, in the top half of the slide, I put together just some rough numbers. So let's say your rent is going to be between $2,000 and $3,000 per month. All right, so for a 3-month stay, that's $6,000 to $9,000 for rent. And again, that includes everything. It's not a bad for a 3-month stay in a beautiful country like Belize. Now, if you're going to be staying in Ambergris Key, you're going to want to add your golf cart rental to that. So for a long-term rental, I'm talking stretching out over 12 weeks, you can probably get the cost down to $300 a week. 300 times 12 is $3,600. If you're on the mainland and you want to have a rental car, again, going that long out, you should be able to get a rental car for around $300 a week, again, about $3,600. So those costs are about the same in either location. Add to that your international flights and your Tropic Air, and depending on where you're living in the world, getting down to Belize and your Tropic Air flights around $2,000. And then you might have a miscellaneous expenses there with your visa renewals, intercountry travels, things like that. But let's just say your all-in cost for this 3-month stay as a snowbird in Belize, of course, not including food, would be around $15,000 per year. All right. Now, how to fund it if you don't want to go through the major cash outlay of buying your own condo, having it insured, paying HOA fees, or if you don't want to have your own home that you are, maintaining year round just for 3 months usage. Now, And that's a different story because if you did own your own home and you're going to use it 3 months a year, you probably want to Airbnb it the other 9 months to make some good income on it to help pay for everything. But that's another video. But if you're not going to do that, how to fund it? Here's what I would do. I would look for vacant land deals in an up and coming area that you can purchase with cash at a relatively, let's say, under market value. All right. So let's say you were to purchase something for, I don't know, 100,000, up and coming area. People like the area, and its true value is around 120, 130. If you were to put that lot that you purchased and titled, let's say you purchased it, got it titled in your own name, put it on the market at the right time with seller financing, and I like the 10-10-10 model, 10% down, 10% interest for 10 years. Let's say you did that, then you would have at 120,000, if somebody put 10% down, that's 12,000, you would have a balance, or they would owe you a balance of 108,000. 10% interest is the standard seller financing interest rate in Belize. And you would do that for 10 years. So you would be receiving monthly payments of 1427 per month, times 12, that's 17,124 per month. So for a modest outlay of cash, let's say $110,000, by the time you purchased a property for 100, paid your closing costs and your stamp tax, let's say for $110,000, you were to put this in some sort of land investment with financing like this, then your annual, let's say, return, your income is going to be 17,000, and this pays completely for your trip to Belize, your rent, some of your food, even some of your expenses, and you can do that for 10 years. So let's say you're a couple in your, let's say, let's say your late 50s, early 60s, let's say you're 60 years old. Do this for 10 years while you still have great health from age, 60 to 70. You've been able to visit different parts of the country. You've been able to stay different parts of Belize. And let's say that one year you don't want to go to Belize. All right. Don't go to Belize. Go to somewhere else. Go to Costa Rica for 3 months. Go to Spain for 3 months. Go to Greece for 3 months. But use the same basic model when you're traveling the world and how to fund your long-term stays. Now, obviously, when you're talking, extending a stay like this is real where the real cost savings comes in. It's easy to spend $15,000 on a single vacation of, say 10 to 14 days. If you are traveling with a family and you're staying at expensive hotels and you're really, let's say, spending a lot of money because you need to see everything in 14 days. But if you spread out the cost, all right, you're getting a 3-month rental, trying to get it as cheap as possible because you're extending your rental contract. Your flights now are amortized. Is that a real word? Over 12 weeks instead of 1 or 2 weeks. And you're able to negotiate things like car rentals, golf cart. And when you're living in an area, you're not, going out to expensive restaurants every night, but you're probably cooking a lot more at home. You're doing a little bit of reading, you're doing a little bit of writing, you're, engaging in your hobbies that don't take much money. And so you're really, slowing down and enjoying those 2 or 3 months in Belize rather than just coming down and trying to cram all the fun in a short vacation. So that would be my advice to someone who isn't necessarily convinced that Belize is right for them. I would still encourage them to take a look at making a financial investment just for the return, and then they can use those returns to enjoy Belize year after year after year for 10 years, or use those returns to go and enjoy something else that they want to do with those funds. Travel somewhere else, or hey, have some extra money for the grandkids. I don't know. Whatever you want to do with it, it's up to you. All right, hope this is helpful. If you guys have any questions on this, I'll put my email address in the video description below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you real soon.